Okay, so as you see, we talked about, the need to know where we are coming from and where we are going. Today you hear many people talking about human progress. But if you don't believe in God, where is human progress progressing to? Where is it going? Okay, we say we're going in the future. Which future? Where are we going if the destiny is not God? Human progress, human progress. Okay, where are we going? Okay? I mean, just imagine, okay? We are talking about human progress, and when you look at it in terms of technology, social organization, you can really see this progress. But in the end, where is humanity going in terms of human progress? Human progress, okay? In terms of human progress, abortion is legal.
Homosexual is legal.
Okay? So homosexual marriage,
It's a norm.
okay, is a norm. Okay? And not only is it a norm, but you have to accept it.
Accept it.
Yeah.
You have to accept it. So where is the progress? If we don't even know how to define ourselves. So what is the future of humanity? If we can't even explain who we are. Does the future of humanity lie in humans doing things to exterminate themselves? When we look at Europe, okay, Europe is almost in every country, I think the indigenous Europeans, they are negative population. Negative population in Europe. Why? Many people don't want to have children. I think it was in Italy or some country where the government was willing to pay, I think, $20,000. I can't remember the amount, but I think it was $20,000 for every child.
Canada too.
Okay, for every child they produce. But no. It was like an incentive. But no. We are progressing. Children are an inconvenience. We want to travel. Okay? We're going to travel and then die. And then what next? So human progress is not progress if it doesn't recognize that we come from God and return to God, and therefore that a principle called God, that reality called God, should direct life and action. Otherwise, if God doesn't direct life and action, our life, all our actions are going to be counter life. Because we are counter God. And therefore, there is no future for humanity. Good future. Okay? It's always oblique. So the question about the origins of the world and of man has been the object of many scientific studies which have splendidly enriched our knowledge of the age and dimensions of the cosmos, the development of life forms, and the appearance of man. These discoveries invite us to even greater admiration for the greatness of the Creator, prompting us to give Him thanks for all His works and for the understanding and wisdom He gives to scholars and researchers. Basically, what the church is saying here is that progress in science is a wonderful gift God has given to us if we use it right, because it helps us to appreciate more what God has done for us and to appreciate more the beauty of His creation, because He gave us the mandate to go and subdue. So science is one of those ways to humans have subdued the earth using the very gift God has given to them. No one has ever invented a human brain, a human mind. It's a gift God gives to us to subdue the earth, to make it a better city, to make our earthly city better habitable. So with Solomon, people can say, it is he who gave me unerring knowledge of what exists, to know the structure of the world and the activity of the elements. For wisdom, the fashioner of all things, taught me. Okay? But no, it is my own doing. people would say, or some people. 284. The great interest accorded to these studies is strongly stimulated by a question of another order, which goes beyond the proper domain of the natural sciences. It is not only a question of knowing when and how the universe rose physically, or when man appeared, but rather of discovering the meaning of such an origin. Your science can say the world is this many billion years old, which is good, okay, to know. We can say that, okay, maybe it has been approximately these millions of years that humans have existed on this planet. Well, that is good. But that doesn't explain, okay, the meaning of such an origin. Okay? It's the universe governed by chance, blind fate, anonymous necessity, all by a transcendent, intelligent, and a good being called God. So knowing how the universe works, okay, knowing how the galaxies are arranged, it's good, but doesn't answer these fundamental questions. Where did everything come from? And where is it going? Do we have a meaningful destiny? Or are we going to just return back to where we came from chaos and a chance? Science cannot answer that. Okay? So science cannot prove that there is a God or there is no God. That question is beyond science. Okay? So if a scientist comes up with something and they say, well, according to my machine and whatever I have discovered, there is no God. It's impossible to either prove or disprove, because you're working with things, material things, with physical properties. Okay. Matter. So by working with matter, you can't prove that there is no being which is not matter. You see that? You can't prove the existence of a spiritual being by scientifically analyzing a material substance. So a scientist cannot prove that there is a God or that there is no God. But especially he cannot prove that there is no God. Because the process of investigations is so limited, and the question of spirit or God is way beyond, far beyond scientific investigation. Okay, the process, the means, the principle. Okay, so is the world is the universe governed by chance, blind fate, anonymous necessity, or by transcendent, intelligent, and a good being called God? And if the world does not come from God's wisdom and goodness, why is there evil? You will see this later on, okay? You will go and ask an atheist, okay? What do you think about ISIS? You just encounter a person who says that they are atheist, okay? And ask them, what do you think about ISIS or Hitler? They said they were evil men. And contend, no, they were not evil. They will continue to say, you're crazy, they were evil men. Then you ask, by what standard? What is evil? Because if you say there is evil, by that same statement, you are proving that there is good or goodness. Otherwise, if there is no goodness, we wouldn't even know that this thing is evil. But there is a standard by which we measure that this is evil. So many atheists want to disprove the existence of God by pointing to the existence of evil. Well, if there is a good God, why is there evil? Or if there is evil, you acknowledge there is evil. How do you know it is evil? Because there is good. Okay, so they don't see that. So that's why atheists are not very good reasoning people. But they claim that they're extremely reasonable. Okay? So, okay, and if the word does not come from God's wisdom and goodness, why is there evil? Where does it come from? Who is responsible for it? Is there any liberation from it? So you see, the so-called science can't answer these questions. So that's what we are trying to prove right now, right? Science can't answer these questions. Okay? They are beyond the domain of scientific investigation. But they are legitimate questions. Because every scientist or whatever atheist, because many scientists are good, believing people. But we're talking about an atheistic kind of scientist, okay, who says there is no God. All these questions will pledge an atheist, evil. The one atheistic woman was, so sad about the death of her child. Okay? And she was asking, well, many people say, oh, come and try to console me that your child is with God. And I said, there is no God, my child is not with God, there is no God. But now I think, where is he? Okay, is he with the material universe? Is he with whatever? Why brood over a death of a child if you're an atheist? Produce another one. Right? Because if there is no God, there is no spirit. If there is no spirit, there is no soul. If there is no soul, these material beings here we see are the same. This bottle of water, this plastic, if you bring 10 other plastic bottles, they are the same. If you go to a Toyota dealership and you look at the Toyota Corollas, they are the same. So if you wreck one, the insurance company will give you money and you get another one. You don't cry over the other one. It had even mileage on it. You're getting a new one. Just to rejoice. So if you're an atheist, there is no spirit. Why are you brooding over matter? This is matter. Produce another one. But they leave a contradiction. Because deep within their heart they know that this was not just matter. Okay? That's why I mourn over this. I can't just go and shop for another. This child was unique. Even if I get another one, this other one won't be the other one. They know that. But they deny it. Hence, they are stupid. That's the explanation of stupidity. Okay? They are nice. Yes. They are nice people. Yeah, that's what we will use. Okay? The other one is not politically correct. So we use nice. So you see that kind of contradiction, okay, in atheism. Okay. But the essence here is that there are questions which are legitimate questions which are not within the domain of science. Whether good science or bad science. They are beyond the domain of science, and the science cannot investigate these questions because it doesn't have the tools to do so. Okay? So 285. Since the beginning of the Christian faith, the Christian faith has been challenged by responses to the question of origins that differ from its own. Ancient religions and cultures produced many myths concerning origins. Some philosophers have said that everything is God, that the world is God, or that the development of the world is the development of God. So it's called pantheism. So if you listen to some people, like I think some people happen to be on this Oprah show. This kind of thing is taking root. Everything is God. The powers, the energy, the whatever, all that kind of thing. So that thing that where everything is God is called pantheism. Okay? Yes. Well, others have said that the Word is a necessary emanation arising from God and returning to Him. Okay? Necessary. Okay? Meaning that God created out of necessity. We said that God doesn't need creation. Why did He create? For His own glory. Okay? Not out of necessity. So I can't sit here and say, well, God had to create me. Because if He didn't, something in God would be lacking. No. That's why we say He didn't create out of necessity. He created out of love and out of His infinite glory. Because still others have affirmed the existence of two eternal principles, good and evil, light and darkness, locked in permanent conflict. That is called dualism, or in the history of the church there has been that heresy called Manichaeism. So evil is not eternal. Evil has not existed from all eternity. Because the devil is not eternal. The devil is a creature. It's only God who is eternal. Okay? The devil came into existence. God didn't. God doesn't. God simply is. He's the author of existence. Things that come to be.
An angel.
Yes. Okay. So according to some of these conceptions, the world, at least the physical world, is evil, the product of a fall, and is thus to be rejected or left behind. This is called Gnosticism. There are so many forms of Gnosticism, but that is basically the essence of it. The world is evil. That's why you have seen in our, basically, recent, whatever, but it has been the common process that you have to avoid creation. Creation is evil. Because creation is evil, withdraw from it and try your best to be as spiritual as possible. The more you avoid matter, the more you are closer to God. So, fast, mortify the body to the excess, because it is matter. It's preventing you from connection with the Spirit. But if you are a Catholic, if you are a believer, if you are a Christian, God is taking from material creation bread, and it declares, this is my body. He takes from material creation wine and declares by the power of the Spirit, this is my blood. How dare one say, a Christian, that creation is evil? When God in the very beginning says, when He created everything, everything is very good. You shouldn't fall prey to people who say that matter, the creation is very good. Our abuse of creation makes us evil. But creation is a gift and it is good. Okay? We exploit it, we can abuse it, we can do whatever. It's us who are evil, not creation. The gifts of creation, the world is very good. Okay? But it is groaning because of us. Okay? The abusers. Okay, so these people have misled, such people have misled so many people, okay, into doing so many crazy things because we have to avoid creation because it is evil. No. Okay, some admit that the world was made by God, but as by a watchmaker who, once he has made the watch, abandons it to itself, but abandoned it to itself. So that philosophical attitude is called deism. That God, yes, we agree and accept that God created. But once He created, He left. He doesn't care what goes on. Like, if you have a watch on your hand, okay, does the watchmaker keeping watch? They made it, you bought it, it's done. So that's what they say happened. Okay, deism. God created, we agree, but now we are on our own. Okay, He's not involved. If you are a Catholic, of course, or a Christian, you can't believe that because God is involved. That's why He sent the Son to die for us, because He's very much involved. He sustains everything, every creature in being. Okay? So finally, others reject any transcendent origin of the world, but see it as merely the interplay of matter that has always existed. That is where we are most of the time here, materialism. Okay? Interplay of matter that has always existed. So this is the foolishness of materialism or naturalism. That matter has always existed. How do you know? What do you mean by always? Since when is this always? Matter has always existed. How did it exist? Because we are going to see later on, matter has potency, potentials, which need to be worked on in order to be actualized. Okay? So how can it have existed always? How did its potency become action? You know, potentials don't work on themselves. Okay? Something has to act on it. That's why you have cause and effect. So you can't just say matter has always existed unless there's something wrong with your brain. Okay? What moved matter to start doing what it does? Then how can it have always existed? Okay? So all these attempts bear witness to the permanence and universality of the question of origins. Okay? This inquiry is distinctively human. Okay? So many people will acknowledge that that question is there, and they will try to solve it depending on their limited understanding. Okay? As we have seen through some of these theories. But none of those theories basically give a comprehensive explanation as to why things are the way they are. Okay. Human intelligence is surely already capable of finding a response to the question of origins. The existence of God, the Creator, can be known with certainty, vaguely but with certainty, through His works, by the light of human reason. I don't know where that footnote is from, but I think it's from Romans chapter 1. Okay? So St. Paul, talking about that, you know, let's look at what Paul says there. Okay? Romans chapter 1. Emphasizing, you know, the importance of reason, natural law. Beginning with verse 18, we've seen this text before, but let's review it. So the existence of God, the Creator, can be known with certainty through His works by the light of human reason, even if this knowledge is often obscured and disfigured by error. Okay? That's why faith comes to confirm and enlighten reason in the correct understanding of this truth. By faith we understand that the world was created by the Word of God, so that what is seen was made out of things which do not appear. Okay? So let's look at Romans 18. The wrath of God is indeed being revealed from heaven against every impiety and wickedness of those who suppress the truth by their wickedness. For what can be known about God is evident to them. How? Because God made it evident to them. How? This is how. Ever since the creation of the world, His invisible attributes of eternal power, that's what we call natural law. The invisible attributes of eternal power and divinity have been able to be understood and perceived in what He has made. Okay, let's take the example of the order of creation. Okay, days and nights, but just in the orderly way. Okay, the way we are, even the human intelligence, the way we order things. Okay. How can you explain that? By the trick of evolution. How did that trick come to do that? As someone put it in these terms, okay? That if you are by yourself, okay, and you happen to be on an island we need that liquid, whatever it is, that helps us
It's on the tray underneath.
to clean this.
It's right on the,
Right there on the edge of the tray.
there, Father.
Lying down.
This one?
No,
No, on that.
underneath that.
By the eraser.
Right under the board.
Oh, right here.
Right under your nose.
Right under my nose. And I couldn't see it. See? So if you want to hide something effectively, just to put it there.
Right inside.
Because people will be looking for it elsewhere.
Every time I can't find something.
So someone basically said, okay, that if you happen to be on an island, okay, on an island, and you find basically stones arranged like this, okay, 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 like that, okay. You may think that, well, maybe the winds came and they just, okay, arranged it that way, okay? But then you walk, okay, and then you see that then they arranged like this again, okay? In that fashion. And then you say, oh, well, it's a, chance, something came about, the winds are blue and whatever, the sun was arranged that way, okay? And then it continues, okay?
Love.
Okay? And then you say, oh, well, the stars are dead, whatever. And then they go, okay? What are the chances that the stones on an island where there is no human being came to be arranged that way? What are the chances that it was just the wind blowing and over a million years, those stones arranged themselves like that? What are the chances of that being true?
What about honey? What about
One in a zillion.
I don't know.
Well, another long word, okay? Like preposterous. It's just there, okay? Or another long word, comprehensive, okay? Those words, stones are arranged comprehensively. That word, and you say, well, the winds blow, and then what are the chances of that being true? If you find something like this, even if there's nobody on that island, it makes you recognize that probably someone must have been here before me. Okay? There's no way that by chance things came to arrange themselves that way. In English, not in any other language. The forces of nature know English. Right? Okay, so that's basically what we are trying to say here, okay? That there are certain things, order in creation, okay, which helps us recognize that that order is simply a reflection of divine wisdom. Things can't just be the way they are. Look at the complex nature of the human mind. What are the chances that that is a trick of evolution? All the things we have produced as human beings. The networking, everything we see. What are the chances that that's a product of a trick of
Human intelligence.
Okay. So the only way, sensible way you can explain it is participation in some form of intelligence, some form of order. So that's what we mean by the existence of Creator can be known with certainty through the works by the light of human reason. Love. How can evolution, the trick of evolution, explain love? How? What is love to begin with? How did love evolve? Because everything is matter, materialism, we're talking about here material naturalism. Who has ever quantified love? Some of you have been married for 30, 40, 50 years. Okay? Just to tell me how much your wife loves you or your husband loves you. How much? In terms of, I don't know, ounces, kilograms, grams, okay? Can you weigh it?
No.
How much does he love you?
This much.
This much, okay? Always people will say, he loves me so much. How much?
Not much.
You can't quantify the much, okay? He doesn't love me. What shows? No, I love her. No, you don't. How do you know? Then we need a scientific investigation. We need some machines to weigh. Okay? Okay, now, yeah, she's right. You don't love her. You can't do it. So how do you explain that? That there's something immaterial in which human love is simply a participation. There is a principle. Okay? So the truth about 287, the truth about creation is so important for all human life that God in His tenderness wanted to reveal to His people everything that is salutary to know on the subject. Okay? So it's very important. Creation is very important. We are very important. That's why God reveals everything we need to know. We are creatures. That's why God reveals everything about us. Because we can only know who we are, we can only know creation through what God has revealed to us about ourselves. We can't know ourselves if we don't look at ourselves in terms of what God has revealed about us. So beyond the natural knowledge that every man can have of the Creator through creation, okay, God progressively revealed to Israel the mystery of creation. So there is what we call natural law, which we can know creation through reason. But rather we can know the Creator through what He has created through reason. But as we know the consequences of original sin, sometimes reason is erroneous. It goes into error. So that's why God decided to positively reveal, okay, to us the beauty of who we are, Himself, and the beauty of creation through what we call progressive revelation. He who chose the patriarchs, who brought Israel out of Egypt, and who by choosing Israel created and formed it, this same God reveals Himself as the one to whom belongs all the peoples of the earth, and the whole earth is itself. He is the one who alone made heaven and earth. So we want to know the Creator. We believe through like a natural reason that God has created. Okay? And we try to ascertain through the mediation of creatures the nature of the God who has brought everything into being. So through creation we can come to recognition that God is wisdom. That God is orderly, because we see order. That God is love, because there is love. But we can't fully comprehend that, okay, in a sense, until God immediately reveals that to us. Okay? So that's why He sent the Son. He started the process of recreating us, okay, which culminates in the coming of Jesus Christ, the definitive stage of salvation history. Okay? And so a human being can now fully understand himself, herself. A human being can understand God, as Jesus tells the disciples, I no longer call you slaves, I call you friends, because I have made everything known to you from my Father. Okay? And so that's where grace begins. Okay, so we'll start from there to, 2 weeks from now?
Yep.
Yes. Because next week is the parish mission retreat, and then the following week is Holy Week. So Tony will be preparing here for Holy Thursday. Yes.
2 weeks.
So we don't have class for the next 2 weeks. And after that, it's Tony's fault.
I'm sorry.
So I'll start back on the 30th.
Yes. And Tony, where are the books?
I put it in there. What's morning?
The God delusion? Godless.
David took it.
Okay, so we have ordered the books, okay? The Godless Delusion. And so we will get them probably when we return, okay? I think David has them. Okay?
What's the name of the book?
The Godless Delusion. Yeah, we'll order them. Yeah, okay. If we run out, pardon? Pardon? Yes, they were in. We'll have 20 copies, okay? So if they come in, then we can order. Okay? All right, thanks for coming and have a good day. So glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, it's now. Thank you, have a good day.